Co-author and recent Harvard grad, Marley Dias, is inspiring children to discover their family roots with a new personal story. We first featured Marley back in 2016 when she was just a sixth grader in New Jersey. She launched her own movement called the #1000 Black Girl Books to shine a light on stories featuring Black people and Black authors who write them. Now, she is telling her own story through her second book, I Am the Dream Come True. It's co-authored by Dr. Janice Johnson Dias, Scott Dias, and illustrated by Islena, am I saying this right? Islena Mill. Yes. And it is out right now. And joining us in studio is Marley Dias. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
So in this book, you write about what you hope and what you want young children to learn from this story. Tell us what that is.
Yeah, I think for me, there's been so many conversations around immigrants and migrants, but we all know that we come from somewhere else, right? And for kids who want to learn about generations before them, or even realize, okay, maybe I like to dance because my mom and dad like to dance, it's really cool to try to create connections and show that thread of lineage and legacy for kids, because so much of what I've done with 1000 Black Girl Books is about speaking up for Black women and girls, but that comes from my parents and a long generation of women who came before me who did the same in Jamaica and Boston, all across the U.S. and abroad. So this book is really meant to celebrate the fact that we all come from somewhere else, and I consider it a love letter to families.
Oh, I love that. There's a refrain in the book that I want to read. It says, "The promise of you, child, is the music that guided us to these shores. You are the bridge between two seas, connecting the past to now." So you just said, you know, this is a love letter to your family, to where you've came from. What role did your family's ancestry, you know, play in your life and also in this book?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing is my name. My name is Marley, and I was named after Bob Marley because my mom is Jamaican, and as she came to the U.S., she felt like it was really important for me to understand kind of the legacy and roots of his story in context of Jamaica and the world. And my dad is Cape Verdean, which is a small set of islands off the coast of Senegal. So Cape Verde used to not be on globes when I was a kid in like my elementary classroom, and I think for other people part of the Cape Verdean diaspora, even smaller kind of countries, it can feel difficult to learn about that history. You don't really get the chance in schools to. So this book is also kind of meant to be like creating like a little trail that a kid can follow to be like, I've never really thought about what it was like for my ancestors to live in this place. And then it encourages more and more reading, pushing more and more literacy, and just giving a kid an opportunity to celebrate the past, to have a brighter future, or to look forward to the future more.
You know, when I was a foreign correspondent in West Africa, I was there for 3 years, and I was having a conversation with somebody once, and I was explaining how I did not know my own family history. I really, because of, it's too long to get into now, but because of some family dynamics, I had no idea who my people were. And he told me that in certain African traditions, what he explained to me ultimately is it doesn't really matter. It's unfortunate that you don't know who your people are, but he said, but they know who you are.
Yeah.
In our traditions, we believe that you are their greatest triumph. You are here, and so they were here. And you should always keep that in mind, that you may not know them, but they know where you are, and you're their greatest gift. And I thought to myself when I was looking through your book, how familiar are you with your ancestry going back several generations? You talked about your mom and your dad, but what do you know about their history?
Yeah, so my mom would always tell me about her grandmother, Margaret Taylor, who was one of the few landowners.
Her grandmother, so your great-grandmother.
My great-grandmother, Margaret Taylor, who was one of the few landowners in their part of St. Mary, Jamaica. So we grew up with market women selling textiles, selling fruit, and that's a story that so many people can relate to, of having that kind of marketplace, or, you know, smaller entrepreneurs growing into bigger entrepreneurs now. So to see my mom go from watching market women to launching her own nonprofit to me launching my own campaign, even though some people might not see it as connected, it is that leadership and that standing up and providing for others, or being a voice that kind of comes back. And my dad is an ancestry person, so we actually know and have like the immigrant papers of when my Cape Verdean side came in 1910. So it's really cool to think about them coming to Cape Cod or Bridgeport, Connecticut, or New Bedford as whalers, and being able to transform into soldiers, service workers, public servants, educators, all because they had that dream of originally just, you know, they wanted to get on the sea, and then they came here and started a new life. So having access to those stories is really important. But like you said, this book is similarly by saying you are the dream come true, trying to teach kids that even if you don't know that legacy, you still are a part of something special. And it is those hard choices that we don't always know about that lead to bigger and better opportunities for us as, you know, descendants of these amazing people. Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. The book, definitely got to read it, everyone. And there's some very beautiful illustrations
is
in here.
lovely.
Yeah,
Thank you.
really, really incredible.
Thank you very much, Marley.
All right, thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.
I Am the Dream Come True by Marley Dias is available now in hardcover and audiobook form.